Within the immune system, there are white blood cells called lymphocytes. Only 15% of lymphocytes are B cells. These B cells play a huge role in immunity by adaptive immunity, specifically antibody-mediated immunity. It all starts with B cell sensation, when a foreign invader that's a potential threat called an antigen enters the body. The B cell is now alert and is preparing for activation. The surface of the B cell is covered in class II MHCs and antibodies. The antigen will then bind to the class II MHCs and antibodies, creating a sensated B cell. The B cell then undergoes activation when it comes in contact with the helper T cell. The class II MHCs with the captured antigen will present it as an epitope to the helper T cell, which then has a specific T cell receptor that will dock and process the antidote. Cytosine is then released and acts as a signal to the B cells to differentiate into either plasma cells or memory B cells. Memory B cells are similar to memory T cells, but they do not attack threats right away, but only attack antigens that was previously the presented epitope. The other B cells turn into plasma cells and will start to make free-floating antibodies. These antibodies, along with their shape, have a variety of ways to stop antigens from traveling freely in the body to cause damage. When an antigen binds to an antibody, partially or the whole thing will bind to one or two of the receptors. When only part of it binds to a receptor, this is called a partial antigen. Then haptens will help fill in the place of the antigens so it becomes a complete antigen. With more than its shape, antibodies have 7 different ways that it gets rid of antigens. The first is neutralization. This is where antibodies bind to specific docks on the antigens to prevent it from hurting or entering any cell. The next is precipitation, which is like agglutination, where it binds and clumps together and prevents it from causing damage. It also activates the complete complement system, where complement proteins are released to help destroy antigens. The antibodies also help to round up phagocytes to the party and engulf the threatening antigens. Along with attracting phagocytes, antibodies perform optimization, which is a way that they make antigens more appealing to the phagocytes. With antibodies floating, some bind to mast cells, and the mast cells release histamine, which turns and causes inflammation. Lastly, there is adhesion. This is a way to prevent the antigens from invading certain types of the body due to it making a blanket over the different potentially vulnerable areas where the antigens could enter. Without your B cells, your immune system would be terribly lacking.